theme is the Delivery Boy 3. The fresh fruit and veg were never that fresh, as the orders were usually made up a day in advance. I grabbed the box that said, 4th Ports Authority, Leith Docks, Jock Bigby. The ticket when it looked like 3 November, but for some reason it was a smudge mess, and I wasn't big on reading anyway. It was actually for 4 November, but I mistakenly loaded it onto the delivery bike. When I got into the docks, it was 4:20 PM, and the cheapo digital watch I bought for the garage, the dark, drizzling shite, the way Scotland often is at that time of year. The orange sodium lamps were already on and splashing their reflections across the wet pavements and streets. The first weird thing was that the security man, John, wasn't on the gate. I cycled right through, over that jarring strip of cobblestone, then across the iron rails of the cattle grid. I pedalled in the near dark, heading for that imposing brick bothy. The old dry dock was barely lit by the overhead lamps. As I drew closer, I heard voices, urgent, threatening sounds, carrying in the still night. I stopped and carefully climbed off the bike and pushed it slowly and silently forward, resting it against the back of the bothy. At first it seemed as if the voices were coming from inside, but then I worked out that the source was the front of the house. I crept around the building, and I could see them standing over by the edge of the wharf. Handsome Johnny was a bit away from Grandad Jock and the other two, Carmy and Lozzie. An overhead lamplight was bathing them in a meagre glow, their breath dragon-like in the cold air as their shadows spilled over the cobblestones. I could tell Johnny was scared. His palms were extended in appeal. "Come on, boys. Jock. It's me." "Well, if you jump and go feet first, you'll break your legs," my Grandad said, looking down into the dock. "You've got a chance of surviving. All worth a punt." Carmy had a length of rope in his hands and moved towards Johnny. "That way or that way, Johnny boy." I crouched down against the side of the bothy. I was shouting myself. I minded the left side of my face went into a twitching spasm. "Well, give me that chance," Grandad Jock sneered, his head cocked to one side. "We owe you that." Then he turned to Carmy and Lozzie. "I'd be right in saying that we owe Johnny that, eh, boys?" "I reckon so, Jock," Lozzie said. "Carmy's not so sure, but you know, Carmy." My Grandad smiled. Carmy's big head looked distorted under the bleary light. "I'd say that profligate double-crossing Grasser entitled him out. A Grasser betrays his own mates." "Old lang syne, but Carmy. Old lang syne," Jock said sagely. "So what's it to be, Johnny?" "But I can't, boys. It's me," Johnny pleaded. "Oh, we can, it's you, all right. We can that." Carmy chuckled badly, like Johnny was a kid who'd been rumbled stealing sweeties from the local confectioners. "If we try and then fling you, then you're done, Johnny. Or hang you over there for your own crane like Carmy wants. You see sense?" Grandad Jock implored. "What's it to be? I thought you were a gambling man. That was how all this mess had started. The gambler's instinct deserted you. Shame." Johnny stepped back slowly to the edge and looked down. I took a hungered step back further into the shadows and felt my heart thrashing in my chest. I still half believed, wanted to believe that it would be okay, that they were just putting the frighteners on, a favourite phrase of Jock's. They'd all soon be at the Marksman's pub, laughing and joking. Johnny suffering from nothing more than soiled kecks. But there was something strange in the world. It was their scary stillness. "If I was you, I'd just do it. Just turn and jump," my Grandad Jock said. And he pulled out a long blade. I could see it silvery glint under the overhead light. Then Johnny closed his eyes and he just vanished into the darkness. Maybe I shut him down. It's freakish the way your memory deceives you. Because I know I saw his face with only his eyelids, bloods exposed, but I never witnessed or had no recollection of him actually jumping. And there was no sound of his screaming or hitting the bottom. But then I couldn't see with him anymore on the edge of that dry dock. And there was nowhere else that could have gone. My granddad nodded at Carmy and Buzzy, and they went to the wharf's edge and looked down. It's done. Better Jildy, they said. Is he away? Buzzy asked. Well, he's spotted he'd all right. Jildy, Grandad John repeated, then turned and walked towards the bothy. If they'd gone to the right, they'd have seen me, but they went to the left, and it gave me time to wheel my bike round to the other side of the brick building. I heard them laughing in the dark as they walked away. It was like they were finishing a shift or walking home for the pub or the football. I went over to the edge of the dry dock and looked down. The light from the lamp above dissipated over the lip of the berth, and nothing at the bottom was visible through the pitch black. I could hear no noises from below. So I climbed down the iron rungs into the dock. I could hear my heart thrashing in my chest. I was shouting it, but at the same time I minded feeling excited and alive. But I was concerned because it was so dark. Couldn't see the bottom until I felt it under the sole of my trainers. I looked up, I came a long way, and a longer way to go back. Then behind me I heard those soft moans, the sound of somebody whispering words that made no sense. I saw a dark, crumpled heap with thin, weak breaths coming from it. It looked like a wounded beast waiting to expire. The bizarre monologue continued. Perhaps I minded thinking Johnny was asking all the women he'd wronged to forgive him, to help him, that he was beyond assistance. When I got closer, his glazed eyes looked up at me as he repeated, "Please, Frank, please." The rear of his head was smashed in and thick blood was oozing from him. I stepped away to avoid getting on my trainers. His eyes were wild but falling over. I knew that he was dying. And I quickly understood what he wanted me to do. So I did it. Then I backed slowly over to the wall of the dock. I looked up at the rungs leading to the top. I was shaking, I was exhausted. I knew there was no way I could manage that climb, get out of the dock. It would be dangerous to even try.